Hello my sorcerers in Christ, I'm Bojan and you guys really liked my previous Dismemberment of the Crucifixion, with a number of you asking me to review additional movies. This movie immediately came to my mind, because it is the polar opposite of the Crucifixion. Whereas the Crucifixion is a bad movie about an exorcism that poorly delivers a good message, A Dark Song is a good movie about a magical conjuration that masterfully delivers a poor message. Or not. What both of these movies have in common is that they both misrepresent the rituals used, Orthodox exorcism in the Crucifixion and Abramelin operation in A Dark Song. Let us begin this review, even though it's not really a review, just me sharing my thoughts about the movie as we go through the plot. As before, this whole video is full of spoilers, so if you want to see the movie, now's your chance to quit. Before I begin, thank you all for 25,000 subscribers. This couldn't have happened without me having nothing better to do and you guys having too much free time. So thank you all. On to the movie. First, we're introduced to Sophia. Sophia's son was murdered over a year ago, and she has contacted Solomon, an occultist of some repute, to perform Abramelin operation. It is a tedious ritual that, at its culmination, will summon Sophia's guardian angel. If performed correctly, and it is a big if, both of them will be able to ask for a wish from the angel. Sophia plans to ask the angel that she'd speak with her departed son, with Solomon intending to get the powers of invisibility so he'd get away from people as much as possible before he ends up in hell. By the way, this isn't my Christian interpretation of what he asks for. He says it verbatim. First, if you do these things, you will end up in hell. Second, do you know that you can ask your guardian angel for a wish right away, this instant, without an elaborate ritual? It's easy. Look at how it goes. Guardian angel. I wish for $1 million. I'm a guardian angel, not a genie. And that would be the end of it. Solomon tells her that she needs to pay 60,000 quid in cash, and they need to close off themselves for a year and a half for the ritual to work. Near the beginning of the movie, she's the one who rented the house for £10,000. Now, weigh this carefully. Would you rather have a wish and intern it in hell, or an extra year and a half to your life and £70,000 in your pocket? They also need to do a lot of things before the ritual starts, like fasting, not drinking alcohol, not having sex, and so on. Abramelin operation is a real thing, but they don't tell you everything about it in this movie. What it is actually supposed to do is to let the summoner converse with his or her guardian angel, who then reveals the magical secrets to the practitioner. The conjurer is then able to bind the dukes of hell to do his or her bidding, and these infernal rulers are then to provide familiar spirits. So, not exactly granting a wish, but pretty damn good if getting damned is what you would wish for. Solomon also tells Sophia that she needs to forgive everyone who's wronged her, and to be absolutely honest regarding what she intends to request of the angel, as it is an important part of the ritual. She gives a long, tedious, foreshadowing affirmation that she's totally honest, you guys. There is no way this can possibly fail. Come on, I really want to do this horrible, risky, magical ritual about the thing I totally told you I want to do. Come on, do it already. Both Sophia and Solomon have their secrets. He is a treated alcoholic who brings in a bottle of hard liquor, while she trusts him enough to block the door to her room every night. While out shopping for a lot of supplies, Sophia encounters her younger sister, who tries to dissuade her from her occult coping mechanism, but she is unsuccessful. Back in the house, the preparations for the ritual are underway. A good chunk of this movie is them preparing for the ritual or performing it. Solomon warns Sophia that Abramelin operation is very tedious. Once he begins to incant the spell, the house will become tethered to a different plane, and they won't be able to live without seriously endangering their lives. With the magic circle complete around the house, the ritual begins. There's a lot of magic babble on the workings of the ritual. By the way, if you're silly enough to do occultism in general, and doing it based off movies in particular, bear in mind that the original Abramelin is not like presented in this movie. Ever wanted to see an occultist getting a full body shave? Neither did I, but now you have to see it too. Oh, there's an icon of Saints Michael and Gabriel, the two holy archangels that won't be appearing during the ritual or nowhere near it. By the way, this is his personal spellbook. It will be important later on when things go south. Soon, minor supernatural events start occurring throughout the house, indicating that something is answering the invocation. At one point, she has to forgive her enemies, which she is not willing to do. Of course, there is a way out, making the ritual more difficult. Naturally, it involves human blood that she has to drink. This is probably the part that wasn't in the brochure. In Christianity, you sorta need both to forgive and to drink blood. I can guarantee to you that none of the Western medieval grimoires requires you to burn all these candles and write Asian letters. None. I so hope that this says something along the lines of this side up, keep refrigerated, dry clean with petroleum solvent only. Now we get to the mandatory sex scene of the movie, which is anything but sexy because the movie creators judged correctly that a sleazy occultist and a grieving mother doing it during the ritual don't rate high on fetish rating scale. In a hilarious twist, it turns out that this wasn't sex magic. He was simply bored and there is no actual sex during the ritual. She needs to keep pure. They need to keep on performing the ritual over and over again until the angel appears. Small supernatural signs keep on occurring. The tensions start to rise when nothing of substance seems to be happening. Solomon accuses Sophia that she isn't honest with her intentions, and after a minor scuffle, it turns out that Sophia wants vengeance against her son's murderers, who killed him during a satanic ritual. Solomon goes into a frenzy because he realizes that it is the reason why the ritual doesn't work, but they have to finish it however they know. And there is a solution, and it is a rather simple one really. An ordinary baptism, during which you kill the woman and then resuscitate her back to life. Ta-da! So she is not all that thrilled about being dead for a minute, and they have another scuffle, during which Solomon gets impaled on a kitchen knife. Look away if you're feeling squirmish. Solomon takes this as a sign that the ritual is beginning to work again, and that this is the price for him hurting her. You heard that correct? This movie is pro-penal substitution. She patches him up with what little supplies they have. Those minor supernatural occurrences start getting major. She hears babies crying in the corridors, blood starts appearing on the walls, closed doors begin to shake. Solomon asks her what does she think that the ritual will accomplish, and Sophia says that she hopes that the teenagers who murder her son will die horrible deaths and will be damned. Solomon makes two good points, that these kids are damned anyway and that she could ask for so much more, for example, personal transformation. It turns out that Solomon's wound isn't healing all that well. Luckily, they lose power, which is something to get their minds off things. Speaking of minds, Solomon starts losing his, with sepsis and all. During the night, Sophia hears her son speak through the door, begging her to let him in because there is something prowling in the darkness. She defies the voice, telling it that it is not her son. The next night, she hears a demon in the armchair, smoking a cigarette. As she approaches it, there is nothing in darkness, save a lit cigarette. One day, Solomon does not wake up. He's dead. Sophia goes to get his spellbooks to continue the ritual, but the increasing demonic activity within the house has left its mark. All the spellbooks are destroyed. That is when Sophia realizes that she's in a lot of trouble. I mean, better sooner than later, if you want to dabble in the occult. She considers leaving. She steps outside the magic circle and nothing happens. Phew. So she leaves the city and then realizes that she can't leave, the house drawing her in. She encounters Demon during the night. She flees into her room and blocks the door. Her son is heard again and attempts to guilt-trip her for letting him die. She defies the spirit again, who drops a charade admitting that he is only using the guise of her son to break her. In the morning, demons, taking the guise of wild man, her son, and the woman who kidnapped him, knock her out and drag her to basement, where they begin to torture her, cutting off her finger. She manages to fend them off for a moment, running up the basement stairs. She starts to apologize for everything that she has done, and there, a light from the ground floor chases the demons away. It is him. Her guardian angel has finally arrived. The ritual has worked. It is time for her to utter her wish to the angel, and she asks for the power to forgive. The angel smiles, for luckily, he speaks perfect English. Wait, what? What? Of all the things she could have asked for, she asks for forgiveness. Okay, I know what the intention of the movie is, the power of forgiveness and all that. Want me to show you how you could have obtained the gift to forgive for free and in much shorter time span? God, in your mercy, please grant me the power to forgive. Amen. And that's it. And if it doesn't work, it needs you to work on yourself before your soul is a fertile soil for forgiveness. It definitely beats wasting 70,000 pounds, wasting a year and a half of your life, and wasting an entire life of another human being. This movie's got everything. Ritual magic, check. Sex magic, sorta check. Blood magic, check. Black magic baptism, check. Necromancy, check. Demons pretending to be your departed loved ones, check. Demon summoning, check. Demon summoning disguised as angel summoning, check. But there's fine print. Are you on the square? Are you on the level? It does not matter. You will lose yourself if you're into conjuring stuff. Regardless if you're summoning demons, angels, souls, or elementals, the sole thing you can get is a demon, or a host of them, or something far worse. If I were subjective, I would say that this is a good movie. It is well acted, I like its pacing. It is emotionally charged, and it teaches you about the perils of occultism and the importance of forgiveness. The soundtrack is probably not something you'd listen outside of the movie, but it fits it perfectly. But I have to give a Christian perspective, that is to say, an objective perspective. It is about a woman swindled by a dangerous sorcerer into engaging in a ruinous ritual that does precisely what the demon they conjured wanted them to do, to drag his soul to hell and to give her a brief respite before the demon does the same to her. Instead of turning to God for forgiveness, she turns to a strange nameless spirit that requires human sacrifice for it to appear. In the end, in her despair and probable lunacy, she swallows the fake pearl offered to her by the infernal swine. But maybe it's not even that. Maybe the ritual never worked in the first place. Maybe her true holy guardian angel stepped in to defend his protege once she admitted how deep she had sunk into the mire of hate and witchcraft. As her sister said at the beginning of the movie, this thing, the ritual, is not godly. In the end, who appears to Sophia is up to you. When I first saw the movie as a Christian, I was certain that the angel is, in fact, a demon. However, upon second viewing, I'm not so sure, and it is completely possible that she did encounter a holy messenger of God. If you have seen this movie, please let me know what your interpretation is. Bye!